Hi everyone, welcome back to the next session. So today we will be learning something from chemistry portion, that is the chapter chemical reactions, and it is a chapter from class 10. Okay, so you might have learned a chemical reaction. Now let's see what are the characteristics. Today we'll be dealing with the characteristics of a chemical reaction. So the first one is, you can see over here, whenever there is a chemical reaction, what all happens? There occurs the evolution of gas. And number 2, the formation of a precipitate. Number 3, the change in color. Number 4, there occurs the change in temperature. And number 5, the change in state. So you can see 5 characteristics of a chemical reaction. I'll repeat: evolution of gas, there will be a formation of precipitate, change in color, change in temperature, and change in state. So we'll see the evolution of gas. We'll have some examples. Okay, so you can see I've written over there zinc granules. In the textbook also it is given, when zinc granules, okay, if it is taken in a conical flask, zinc granules is taken in a conical flask, and then you are pouring some drops of dilute sulfuric acid. So dilute sulfuric acid, the sulfuric acid formula will be H2SO4, right? So here zinc granules is taken in a conical flask, and then you are pouring, you are adding dilute sulfuric acid dropwise, and what will happen? There will be a chemical reaction. Okay, and so here what are the products over here? Zinc granules and dilute sulfuric acid will be the reactants. They undergo a chemical reaction to form the products, that is zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. So here you can see an up arrow showing that it is a gas. So which is the gas that has been evolved? It is the hydrogen gas. Okay, so here I have written the chemical equation also. Zinc, that is Zn, sulfuric acid H2SO4, and here you will get the product as the hydrogen is replaced by zinc to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. Okay, so that is the chemical reaction that we have seen. And here on touching the conical flask, you can see that it will be slightly hot. So what happens over there? Heat energy is being given out. So heat energy is given out, matlab, what is that? It is an exothermic reaction also. Okay, so here in this chemical reaction of zinc granules and sulfuric acid, you can see the products as zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas, and you know that there is the evolution of hydrogen gas. Same way, on touching the conical flask, you feel that it is slightly hot. This shows that it is exothermic in nature. Okay, we'll have one more example, that is sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate is Na2CO3. Here also it is reacted with dilute hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, and you get the product as sodium chloride, and carbon dioxide gas is released. So which is the gas that is released in this reaction? That is the carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so these are the two examples for the characteristics of chemical reaction we have seen for the evolution of gas. Okay, now we'll see the next one. So coming to the next characteristics, that is the evolution of a precipitate. So let's see what do you mean by a precipitate. Okay, so you can see over there it is a solid product. Solid product means it is insoluble, which separates out from the solution during a chemical reaction. So at what all times a precipitate occur? There are 2 ways. Now, number 1 is by mixing aqueous solutions of reactants. In that case, you can see that the products are formed, and one of the product is insoluble, and that you call it as a precipitate. And the second way is on passing gas into an aqueous solution of a substance. In that case also you will get a precipitate. Okay, now the examples have taken magnesium, that is Mg, hydrochloric acid, HCl, undergoes a chemical reaction. The products will be MgCl2, magnesium chloride, and hydrogen gas is evolved. Okay, so here in this equation MgCl2, magnesium chloride, is the precipitate. Next I am having potassium iodide, that is Ki, and lead nitrate, that is PbNO3. On reaction it forms PbI and KNO3, that is the potassium nitrate. And here you can see that the potassium iodide is colorless, and lead iodide will be the precipitate, and it will be an yellowish in color. So what is the color? The colorless potassium iodide will be converted to a yellow precipitate, that is PbI plus KNO3. One more example, that is barium chloride is treated with dilute sulfuric acid. Then you get a white precipitate of barium sulfate and hydrochloric acid. Next, third one is the change in color. So you know that KMnO4, what is that? Potassium permanganate. Okay, so citric acid you can take any. Here I am taken lime juice. On reacting with potassium permanganate, what is the color of that? Purple in color. What happens? The purple color of potassium permanganate disappears and it becomes colorless. Okay, so here we have discussed about evolution of gas. Second is the formation of precipitate, and third one is the change in color. Next is the change in temperature. So look here, you are having quicklime, that is calcium oxide, slake lime, that is calcium hydroxide. Okay,